Is JK Rowling going to jail? I can't believe that's a real question, but it's the one we have to ask now that a transgender activist named India Willoughby has just announced that India has reported JK Rowling to the police for misgendering. We're going to break it all down, but first, I'm Brad Polumbo. Welcome back to my channel. I cover all the craziest things on the internet, in our politics, and in the LGBT community from a center-right, moderate perspective. Now, the transgender activist and news presenter India Willoughby has been feuding with Rowling for some time now, but now Willoughby's escalating that feud to a legal level. Here's a clip from an interview Willoughby just did with Byline TV explaining what exactly is happening.
JK Rowling has definitely committed a crime. I'm legally a woman, she knows I'm a woman, and she calls me a man. It's a protected characteristic. And that is a breach of both the Equalities Act and the Gender Recognition Act. She's tweeted that out to 14 million followers. If you check out the accounts that have been responding to me on the back of that, her trigger, it's absolutely disgusting, putrid, some of the worst abuse I've ever seen on social media. And I know I'm at the center of it, and I might be a little bit biased.
Well, what are you going to do about this?
What am I going to do about it? Well, I've been to the police and I've reported it as an issue. I contacted Northumbria Constabulary yesterday.
So you reported JK Rowling
I have reported JK Rowling to the police for what she said, which I don't know if that's going to be treated as a hate crime, malicious communications, but it's a cut and dried offence as far as I'm concerned. And at the end of the day, it is a hate crime. Trans gender identity is a protected characteristic, just as race is, just as sexuality is. And the equivalent of what JK Rowling said, calling a trans person a man, deliberately knowing that that person is a woman, and I am a woman, regardless of what JK Rowling says. I've been through everything that's required of me. My birth certificate says female, my passport, all of my documents. I am legally recognized as a woman. And for JK Rowling to deliberately, and that is the key word, misgender me, knowing who I am, is grossly offensive. It is a hate crime, and it should be treated just as somebody calling a black person the N-word, or an Asian person the P-word.
Now, after watching this clip, you might, like me, be wondering what exactly JK Rowling said that was so offensive that India needed to rush to the police. The two have feuded for some time, but all that appears to have happened recently is that JK Rowling put out this tweet referring to Willoughby as a man. It's this action, referring to a transgender woman who's born biologically male as a man, that has India going to the police and trying to get JK Rowling arrested for a hate crime. What adds a hilarious twist to this bizarre saga, though, is that India has herself actually misgendered trans women in the past. That's right, in this tweet you can see India referring to Debbie, a trans woman, as a man. So, India, should you also be reported to the police and prosecuted for some hate crime? This whole thing is just absolutely insane. For one, it appears that India is wrong about the law and that the accusations she's making against JK Rowling are baseless. A community note that was added to India's interview on Twitter points out that while UK law does outlaw acts of discrimination, it still allows someone to misgender someone as a part of their speech and expressing their opinion. That said, malpractice alert, I'm not a lawyer and I have no familiarity with UK law, so take that for whatever it's worth. What I can say definitively, though, is that while I personally do try to respect the pronouns of legitimately transgender adults, the idea that anybody would be arrested for misgendering someone in a supposedly free society is downright dystopian. It's also incompatible with democracy. You can't have a democratic system where the people control the government if nobody's allowed to express ideas that might offend someone else. There's simply no way to figure out the complex debates over issues like immigration, gender, abortion, or anything else if nobody can express an offensive thought without fear of prison. I mean, it's crazy to me that India, of all people, as a news presenter, can't see this. India has said many things over the years that other people find controversial or offensive, including about some of those very topics like immigration. So India, should you be arrested too? You really don't see the problem with this? There's also an extremely thin-skinned nature to India's actions that I just don't have much respect for. Whatever happened to the whole concept of sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me, that we literally teach kindergartners? I'm sure that given the size of JK Rowling's platform, India probably did receive a lot of hate tweets and backlash after JK Rowling's tweet went out. And I've been there. I've been the villain of Twitter before. It's not fun. But all you have to do is turn off your phone or log off for a while. If you actually feel the need to call the police because people are hurting your feelings online, you clearly lack the basic emotional resilience of a functioning adult. And that's a you problem, not a JK Rowling problem. Now, if anyone does cross the line, anyone who follows JK Rowling and was upset by what they saw and reached out to you, if that person crosses the line and threatens you or harasses you offline, then absolutely, by all means, go to the police. But that's not JK Rowling's fault. It's an issue between you and the person harassing you and law enforcement. It has nothing to do with JK Rowling. All in all, this story just makes me feel bad for JK Rowling because while I don't agree with all her views on these issues, her critics are absolutely deranged. And it also makes me really grateful to be an American where stuff like this could never even be considered as an option because we do have the First Amendment. It also reminds me why it's so important that we fight back against the rise of the illiberal woke left in this country. Because make no mistake about it, this is where they would eventually take us, too. Do you side with JK Rowling, or do you somehow think she's in the wrong here? Let me know in the comments. I honestly do want to hear different people's thoughts, so I'll be reading them, so let me know what you think. And if you're still here, you must have found something interesting or insightful about this video, so please do hit that like button and maybe even consider subscribing. And with that, I'll see you all in my next video. But if you're somehow not sick of me yet, you can go here or here to check out some of my other recent content you might just enjoy.